Did you know that Peru is more than just Machu Picchu? Did you know that Peru is more than just a culinary paradise? Peru is so much more. Its geography, climate, culture, religion, economy, politics, and much more encompass one of the most enriching aspects of the country. So let's learn a little bit about them. Let's start with Peru's geography. It is located in western South America, close to the Pacific Ocean. With a total area of over 1 million square kilometers, its neighboring countries are Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, and Ecuador. Its three main geographical regions are the hot and tropical Peruvian Amazon, the dry and extreme temperature variations of the Andean highlands, and the temperate humid desert coast. The Amazons cover 59% of the territory, while holding only 11% of the population. The largest resources of the country are also located there. The highland covers 30% of the territory while only holding 36% of the Peruvian population. It is also the home of Peru's tallest area, Mountain Huarascan and Machu Picchu, and it's also where all the natural resources are extracted. Finally, the coast covers only 11% of the national territory, yet it holds 52% of the population, even though it is a desert area. Also, Peru's capital Lima is located there.
The Inca Empire. The beginning of Peru dates back to the pre-Columbian time, being the largest, most important, and most powerful civilization of South America. The Inca Empire is known for its complex political organization and its great administration of resources. The Incas had no written language, but were able to register things through quipus, or noted strings. Machu Picchu and Cusco were some of the most recognized cities constructed by the Incas, encountered between worlds. By the time the Spanish showed up in 1532, the Incas ruled about 4 to 6 million people. The Inca culture first faced the Hispanic influence in the 16th century. In 1532, the Spanish conquered the Incas. Thus, the chief Atahualpa in Cajamarca and the Inca Empire started to decline. The defenseless Aboriginal people were abused and exploited, seeing how their rights were restricted and their culture vanished. Lastly, several civil wars took place, starting what later would become the independence movement, Peru's independence. In 1821, Peru was declared an independent country. As a new country, Peru's economy struggled a lot and faced unfavorable times. In the midst of bankruptcy, it came a new peak of military rule. The gap between the elite and the rest of the population in the countryside continued to grow. Dictatorship. During the 1970s, Peru was facing a military dictatorship. The government, at the time, regulated the petrol prices, the media, and reformed the agricultural systems. The democratic government returned in 1980s, but the country was suffering the consequences of the regulations made before. Therefore, protesters created two considerable violent organizations to express their discontent, which caused troubles for a long time. In the 1990s, the country slowly recovered from the economic crisis and paid its external debt. Democracy. Then, since 2000, the country has had democratic presidents. Furthermore, the country is developing and establishing a strong economy that has positioned them as one of the potencies in South America. Social institutions. Due to globalization, the Peruvian family growth has been decreasing. However, the strong patriarchy that used to exist in the country has decreased considerably, since more than 40% of the female population is part of the workforce of the country. Also, Peru has been affected by the decrease in its population growth, since people rather wait a long time to have children. Education. The Peruvian educational system is composed by primary, secondary, and higher education. Also, the government has focused on improving the access of education to all parts of the country, which has resulted in a literacy rate of over 94%. Nevertheless, there are many inconsistencies between the quality of education in rural and urban areas, since people in rural areas live in high poverty levels. They are forced to quit school to help making ends meet in their family. Political system. Peru has a democratic system divided into executive, legislative, and judiciary branch. In the past 2 decades, the governmental stability has helped the economy to grow. This has resulted in an increase in the promotion of investment, free trade treaties, and macroeconomic stability. However, after each presidential election, there is a period of instability and distrust that causes investment to decrease for a small amount of time. Religion. Peru's official religion is Catholicism, yet the church is separated from the state, and the country supports freedom of religion. The main religions are Catholic, Evangelical, and others. Nevertheless, the Catholic Church has a preferential treatment in education, taxes, and the immigration of religious workers. Culture. The Peruvian culture is highly influenced by the Incas, dating back to the ancient Peruvian times. Traditional music and dance still influences the Peruvian culture. Gastronomy is another expression of a national identity that embraces multiple cultures coexisting in one territory, a unifying element in Peru that can be seen everywhere. Peruvians have become experts on experimenting with new flavors, harmonizing aromas, and discovering new ways of cooking. The diversity of Peru's agricultural production, microclimates, geography, multiple cultures, and the genius of its chefs have enriched the culinary nature of Peru to the point where it's now recognized as one of the finest expressions of the global cuisine.
The Spanish-speaking country has a population of approximately 30 million people, yet its yearly growth rate is around 1%. This makes Peru an aging country. Being a colonized nation, most of Peru is of mixed ancestry, the main ones being Amerindian and Mestizo. The main Amerindian groups are the Quechua and the Aymara tribes, who have their own language and traditions, making them represent the heart of the Peruvian culture. Due to globalization, around 40% of the country has access to internet. Nevertheless, there are 105 cell phones per 100 cell phone users in the country, demonstrating the social inequality gap. Economy. Being in the top 50 wealthiest countries in the world, Peru has a healthy economy, experiencing a yearly growth of approximately over 2% international production, measured through the GDP and the GNI. Peru's main industries are agriculture, industries, and services. They mainly produce cereal and other grains. Also, fishing, mining, and manufacturing. In the services areas, they provide ecotourism, financial services, and retail. Social inequality. The Peruvian government has been working on diminishing the poverty levels of the country, which have been quite successful. Nevertheless, over 70% of the Amerindians live in poverty and less than 50% of them have access to healthcare, since they live in rural areas. Therefore, although poverty levels have been reduced, the social inequality levels have only increased. Exports and imports. Peru's main exports are mineral resources, anchovies, tuna, petroleum, telecommunication equipment, corn, cotton, among others. On the other hand, Peru's main imports are machinery, petroleum, products, plastic, vehicles, wheat, paper, among others. FTAs. Nearly 95% of Peru's exports are covered by free trade agreements, or FTAs, the main ones being US, China, Mercosur, and the European Union. These and many other factors demonstrate that Peru is a cultural mecca and a worldwide economic potential. So come to Peru. It's a paradise you'll never forget nor regret.